Officially live. So, all right, guys, we are here today with the first podcast episode yet. It is going to be Keeping It Real with T&L. I'm Ty, and that's Lori. So,
I'm Coach Tim.
You got Tim. So, today we're going to be starting out basically just going over what we're going to be bringing you guys on the Keeping It Real with T&L show. Everything from fitness to mindset, as well as things that are going on here in CrossFit San Ramon, and even maybe current events, and even our story about how all of us ended up all here together. But Coach Lori, is there anything that you want to add?
Yeah, I'm going to add a few announcements because I know our biggest audience today will be CrossFit San Ramon. So don't forget, You Can't Outrun a Bad Diet is January 7th and 14th, 6 p.m. It's a 2-part nutrition clinic. We're just going to simplify things. We're going to cut out the BS. We're going to dispel the myths and rumors, and we're going to help you maximize the results. So make sure you join us for that. 50 participant in person and Zoom, and it's open to anyone, not just the gym. And then I'd like to announce that Coach McKenna and I have put together a monthly ladies' night out for the gym.
There we go. There we go.
No, it's not sexist, but we're doing it. January. It's okay. You guys can do the guys' night out.
Hunting.
Yep. That's what we're going to do.
It's so manly. But we just want to put together like a community event for women in the gym so we can get together, hang out, talk, share stories, vent, drink, dance, whatever you want to do. January 23rd at 6 p.m. So save the date. You've got 22 days to plan because today's the first. Okay? That's all I wanted to add. Thank you for that.
All right. So on the first episode, me and Lori are going to give our small intro. We're not going to go too in-depth. Our stories are going to be coming up in the following episodes. But today's going to be focused on the owner of CrossFit San Ramon, the man, the legend, the myth, Coach Tim himself. We're going to be hearing from him. But as the host, we want to let you guys know just a little bit about who we are before we introduce you guys into Tim. So I'm going to let Coach Lori go first. I'm still a gentleman.
Okay, ladies first. And get a night out too. So I'm Coach Lori. I've been part of CrossFit San Ramon for over 12 years now. Started out as a member and became part owner, I think about a year and a half after that. I like long walks on the beach, nitro cold brew. And Marie from Aristocats is my favorite Disney character. Aside from that, now you know the personal stuff, right? I love everything that I do here. Functional medicine, functional nutrition, I love coaching, I love having personal training clients. I can't wait to share more about what I've been doing here for over a decade, how it's changed my life and countless others. And that's really all I need to know today.
Excellent. I love it. So a little bit about me. I am Coach Ty. I joined CrossFit San Ramon as a member in 2020. In 2021, after about a year, I got very, very passionate and I wanted to coach. I ended up getting my CrossFit level 1 and I've been coaching here at CrossFit San Ramon ever since. It's changed my life. There's no place that I'd honestly rather be. I love it here. That's all we got. So finally, Coach Tim, how about you give us just a small intro and then we'll dive into the deep, deep stuff that we have to talk to you about today.
Well, I'm Tim Hill. I've been here with CrossFit San Ramon for 16 years, and I think we'll get into more depth as they start asking me questions. But from here, yeah, it's just been a great journey, bringing together a lot of great people. And then also, it was over the time, met my wife over here, which has been a good thing.
Sure.
Very good thing. And then Coach Ty has been amazing here, and so we've had some really great people come along for the ride. And I can't wait to share more with you and see this whole thing grow.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today. Ty and I have some things we're going to ask you and just...
Hot seat.
Yeah, hot seat. We're going to rapid fire at the end, too. So open up your RX Fit Aid.
It's going to go down.
This is for after.
Recovery.
So, Tim, we are going to take it back. I don't want to go too far back, but I want you to kind of start out. Not too many people know that you have basically been an athlete your entire life. So, number one question is, and we're just going to try to go from high school until the point of where you thought you hit your peak and what you were doing at that time and where you were at fitness-wise. So let's start with high school, sports you played, and where you went from there.
If I could, I think I'll back it up just a little bit because that tells a lot of the story of kind of where I came from. As at a really young age, I started I started working out, lifting weights in the backyard with my brothers. We had a little weight set, doing different things. I got into racing, swimming, and went into school basketball, wrestling, football, a bunch of different things. Even played a little baseball, but at the time I didn't like to stand in the outfield for very long, so that was always a little bit too slow for me at the time. Great athletes. I had a hard time standing around waiting for the action. So anyways, we got into that. By the time I got to high school, I had whittled it down. I had started cross-country ski racing at 7, and by the time I was about 12, that was pretty much my passion, and I started to have to shut down other sports in order to participate at the level I wanted to participate. By the time I got into high school, I was ranked 3rd in the nation. I had a couple of third place finishes at that was actually the first year of Junior Olympics, the year after Junior Nationals, which disappointed all of us because we didn't think it was really the Olympics because only the United States. But anyways, we went along with it and still raced. So that was that. And then throughout high school, I focused on the cross-country ski racing, training for that. I maintained some off-season sports, track and field. I was the oddball doing some pole vaulting along with long-distance running. So doing the mile, 2 mile, different things like that with that. Ran cross-country in the off-season. And so, pre-season, I should say. So yeah, a bunch of different things there. And then as I went through 35 years of cross-country ski racing, I picked up some other things. Along the way, I guess I should mention, I did end up with a couple of top 25 finishes in the Olympic trials.
Oh, wow.
And junior world tryouts. I missed the junior world team by a very small margin at one point. And so that happened to be the one year they dropped from 5 participants to 3, and they took 3 that year. I was 5th. So anyways, it was one of those things we're going through, which some of those things created some downs that helped kind of create what it was that I became after that, I think. So that was kind of the athletic career, having been close and not achieving it. Maybe the reason I own a gym, I'm not sure. So that's part of it. But anyways, yeah, that's some of the background there. I went on to do some odd stuff, like I was doing some adventure racing. I went on American Ninja Warrior. I did a couple of years of bike racing at a pretty intense level with moving from over the first 2 years, almost made it into Cat 2. So if you're familiar with road bike racing, went through from level 5 to 3, and then was a couple points shy of hitting Cat 2 when I decided to take up adventure racing and put my road bike down for my mountain bike and started doing long runs, different things like that. So, but yeah, a lot of different things I played at, a little bit of rock climbing, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but a lot of different things mixed into that. So hopefully that's not too much, but anyways, 30.
No, well, it's a lot to obviously unpack. So we're going to go into what we can, since we are brief with our time. But in the same hand, I am kind of curious. Let's just say, for those who don't know about cross country skiing, that's obviously what you were doing. What's an average race like? What was one of your fastest races, and what would be considered a pretty good time? How's just a brief rundown if you were to meet someone who's never heard any of the details?
Yeah. So in general, most of the time I was racing, it was 5Ks to 50K. So 5 kilometers, 50 kilometers were kind of the range of that. My best finishes at nationals were in the 50K. I had 2 top 10 finishes at national championships in 50K. And so actually one of those was at 18 and the other one was like 35 or something like that. So
oh, wow.
2 high points in my career with some miscellaneous working too much in the middle. So yeah, that was the time for a 50K is a little over 2 hours. At the level I was at running. So you can look at 50Ks cross-country skiing is similar in time to a marathon running, something like that. So we was at 5Ks beat down somewhere in under 15-minute range, something like that. If you're going really something, somewhere in that range, but then later on, if that's right races that are about a kilometer, and so we have some really high Yes.
And then, of course, everyone's going to want to know. And then after that, I'll let Lori ask the next question. But tell us about the Ninja Warrior experience. That's obviously a pretty cool thing. It's a pretty popular TV show. A lot of people heard about it. Just a little bit of that rundown.
So David Warrior was one that I've been playing around a little bit, some parkour stuff, and then of course it was a little bit after I'd opened up the CrossFit gym, so I've done a lot of rope climbing and everything. So I heard the tryout actually at CrossFit gym on Marin came over there. They do some Ninja Warrior training on that, so they had to try out and brought out some people from Ninja Warrior, and so we went on there and I had to do a little video to show what I could do. So I played around with some kettlebell juggling, climbing ropes at feet, and doing a bunch of stuff like that to get on, and they accepted me. So I went over and tried out, made it on the show, and got there, and unfortunately had a very unspectacular fall on the third obstacle, which was a rolling log. It was around 20 some odd feet long, running across the top of it. The one thing that made me kind of both sound and Loon was one of the top guys in that sport at the time, went off on the same obstacle. So it's like, all right, it happens. So, but I was ready to do it. Of course, I just didn't make it there.
Anyone who knows about Ninja Warrior knows those balance obstacles are usually the ones that take off the best. So that's a pretty cool story, Tim. I'm gonna let Coach Lori start at question 2.
All right. So 16 years ago, you decided to open a gym. Excuse me, in San Ramon. Why specifically a CrossFit gym? What was the inspiration behind that?
So the inspiration behind that, I was running several outdoor boot camps at the time. I had an outdoor boot camp business with 7 classes going daily. And then a friend of mine called me up and said, hey, you should check out this CrossFit thing. Said, it's pretty cool. And so I looked it up. I did a workout out of my apartment. I believe that was Mr. Joshua, which I had limited weight, so I think I had 185 pounds on the bar to do the deadlifts, and then doing GHD sit-ups off of a massage table with things piled on the end of it so it wouldn't flip over and all that. And I got done with that workout and was like, wow, that is really different. That's something that has the potential to affect your overall athleticism, and I could see how it would have affected some of the attributes that I was trying to develop as an athlete. And so that was, in the years that I was racing heavily and all that. So I think that when I kind of saw the potency of the type of workout, that was one of the things that sold me on that. And I ended up pretty much immediately signing up to go get my certification in CrossFit, and then it just so happened that my nutritionist out of the boot camps was working also for California Strength, and they were looking for somebody to start a CrossFit in there. And so we came to an agreement, and I started CrossFit probably 4 or 5 months after I heard about it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm glad you did.
So let's talk about you now have your gym. What were those first couple of years like? Was it hard to find coaches or get members in the door? And as well as that, what were some of the other challenges that you never thought that you would have to experience with running a gym?
So the big thing getting started was just all the logistics of dealing with a permanent location, of getting everything set up and all of that. When I've been doing the outdoor boot camp businesses, that was, had traveling gear that I took with me. And so then getting all the setup and searching and shopping for all these things, making the decisions on what to have in there and how to arrange it, because always the space is somewhat limited as you're getting started out. And so that was one of the challenges there. And then I came into the challenge with the California Strength was an absolutely great place for me to start. I learned a lot about Olympic lifting and really was helpful from that standpoint. The culture of the two businesses didn't fit together. And so that was something that became a challenge that held us back in the first couple of years. We were together about 1.5 years, 2 years, I believe it was. And so that was one of the early challenges, was trying to find that way to bring the right people in for the culture. And then after we separated about 1.5 years, 2 years in, then that started to count, and the membership started to grow a lot faster after we kind of got into where we could control the culture a little bit better.
There you go. Was there anything else that you random things that would happen where maybe you're you might be thinking, why am I having to deal with this owning a gym? Like, this isn't what I thought this job would have in store. I just thought we're going to work out and listen to rock all day. It should be fun.
Well, I had a fair amount of experience coming from the boot camps, and I think one of the biggest things is that the marketing for it was a bit different. I couldn't quite. It wasn't hitting all those things, so I had to kind of relearn how to market for the gym, for an indoor location on a gym. So I had kind of unpack a lot of new things with that. So that was a little challenging, and then of course. There was a lot of money going out in the beginning, so then it's a challenge of making sure that you're using all of your resources wisely and all of that. So, and then fortunately for the first year or two, I had 3 of the coaches from Cal Strength that I was able to teach how to coach CrossFit, and they filled in for me as well on that. So I had some coaching involved in that. So.
There you go. Awesome, Tim. I'll let you ask the question
All
for
right. Everyone's happy that I'm asking you this and you're not asking me this. COVID-19, oh no. Let's talk about the challenges of the 2 weeks that lasted 4 years.
Yeah.
So really quick, I was going to say, obviously, this is one where if you want to talk about it, because you were obviously by his side during that time, so you would know about some of the things that you guys both went through as being owners at that time, because you were an owner then. So you could feel free to chime in.
We have the envelope to push. Talk about it on the second episode. Go ahead.
Yes, that's good. This is good. So this is one of those cases where you ask 2 siblings about their parents and they'll come up with a completely different answer. So Lori and I...
She almost lost her coffee.
Yes. So Lori and I had different experiences going through COVID. So COVID for me, it was total pain in the ass. The way that all of the restrictions were thrown down on us and limiting things, it really, just every day was just, kind of trying to go into panic mode and come out of it with a positive. It was every day we're just going in fighting for your life, basically, as a business. And so many of you that have businesses will understand that. And what I found, though, is that through that process, it's something that actually Ty and I were talking about yesterday, was that, looking at things of like, business is the sword here, COVID was the stone. And so I used the stone of COVID to sharpen the business, basically. And so I could have used it to dull the business. I could have let it kind of take away. But fortunately, we'd set up things. We were doing, we had our business set up, so we're paying legitimate payroll. A lot of the companies that were on kind of doing the 1099s that doesn't really fit this type of business, ended up getting not being able to take the PPP loans out. And so we were able to do that. So that kind of bolstered the finances enough to keep us from going under. That, along with so many of you members out there, thank you very much, who stayed with us even though you couldn't be here. And so that was the other thing. We wouldn't have been able to pull through without all the members that were able to do that. So that was really a key thing in COVID. But what I did find is that by having to do things like take the training outside for a while, we ended up having to rearrange everything by the roll-up door so we could quickly move our gym outside and inside. And as we rearranged, we ended up becoming more efficient with our gym setup. And so as we came out of COVID, we came out with a better gym setup, and we actually, through making some good business decisions and trying to keep everything in line, we actually came out of it financially in a position not too far behind where we started. So we were able to really kind of mitigate a lot of the damage and learn a lot about functioning. So I look at it as something that, it was not fun, but it made us better at what we do. And so I'll take that as a win, but it was definitely, I wouldn't do it again.
Do it again.
We won't do it again.
So, Lori, like I said, I know I will let you throw in because you were obviously with him, but we will obviously cover your full story.
Yeah.
When we go.
It was just so much bullshit. And when, like, the governor and the DA, everyone, their gyms stayed open because we were not essential, but their gyms were essential. So I was the one that was like, open the gym. And we went back inside. because I was like, this is bullshit. So for me, it was a time of, it was just nonsense. And every day it was more of just the same. Like, you can't go to the mom and pop, like, farmer's market grocery store because it's dangerous, but Costco's not. Like, nothing made sense. And I figured that out about 4 days into the 2 weeks. I'm like, what is really happening here? And the good news is, like, now the truth has come out on everything, right? So now if you want to know what was happening and you can handle that, it's available to you. And because I stuck with it, I'm on Netflix now, right? So I've got this great opportunity to help people get educated on health and wellness and learn from the horrible mistakes of COVID-19. So that's my positive. And the only nice thing I can say about COVID. So but I will say this. Obviously, we're complete opposites. Like, Tim's like this athlete from age 4, and I'm like fat and lazy till I joined CrossFit at 35. So, like, you know, so he can find the positive in everything, and I have to be more female, emotional, flipping out all the time and trying to like trudge through the misery. So we got each other through it, and truly, he's right. If it weren't for all the amazing people that are CrossFit San Ramon, it wouldn't have been worth it. Like, you don't go through what we went through to keep this here for just basic people. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, the
Absolutely.
community here
That's
is
deep.
like so amazing that you're willing to risk everything and possibly be homeless on the streets because all your eggs are in this one basket to keep it going for all the members. Because they would reach out. I'd have grown men be like, I'll pay the $2,500 fine if you let me work out. Like, people are suicidal, like losing their job. I mean, it was really hard to watch all that. So we did everything we could for all of you to keep it going, because that's why we do this, because your health and wellness and fitness is everything to us. So
It's a big
we got
deal.
through that. Yeah, it's a big deal. So at least it let us know we're doing what we should be doing, right? Because we fought like hell to keep it going. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm scrappy from any occupation. You know.
How it goes.
You know how it goes.
But no, that is honestly a very, very big deal. And I don't get to tell you guys often, but I'm very thankful that you guys were open, because I remember that time very well. And I remember I called up almost every gym within this like 925 area, because I was still up in San Ramon at the time. And they had closed the gym that I was at, and this was the only gym that was still offering parking lot, which you guys spaced out, and you're like, yeah, come in. And I kid you not, this place obviously changed my life as well. So I'm very, very happy. Like, COVID literally is the reason that I'm here. Otherwise, we'd have probably never crossed paths. So
Everything happens
Another
for a
positive
reason.
out of COVID. There you go.
Everything happens for a reason.
absolutely. So number 5, reflection and advice. So knowing what you know now after being in this industry for 16 years and going through the ups and downs, I've been here just within you in the past, 5 years. And I've watched you basically acquire or build out the gym to larger suites. I've watched you actually attempt to buy out other gyms when they were closing. You made some pretty big moves, and I think that you have a lot more experience than the average person who's operating a gym. You're more operating almost like this is a large scale organization. So that being said, looking back at your 16 years, is there anything that you would do differently? Or are you happy with how it all kind of landed once it was said and done?
I think the biggest thing is not trying to do too much of it yourself. It's you start out a business, the tendency, the thing you want to do is it's like, this is my baby, I'm going to roll with it and do all this and try to hold on to too much. And until you start bringing in teammates, until you have a Lori and a Ty and, the other people that make the wheels turn on the whole thing, all the coaches and client success manager and everybody else that plays a role in this, and get them going, getting the mentors in that help you. All of these things play a role, and there's a tendency to try to hold on to it too much. And there's been a lot of times where I've held it a little too close to the chest and not worked enough on developing the team. But you always see the people that are most successful are the ones who develop the best teams. And so it's kind of like, when you step out on the football field, you don't want to be a team of 1 against a team of 11. Yes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, and I'll let Coach Lori ask the last and final one, question number 6.
Awesome. If there's anything else you want the members to know about you, let us know. And if there's a message you'd like to share with them, this is the time to do it.
So I think that one of the things that a lot of people may not get, and will help you understand kind of some of the things I do when I coach too, is that I coached cross country skiing for about 20 years. But what I didn't do much of is I didn't coach too many teams for performance. I mostly coached people for their technique. I was teaching them to be better skiers so that they would be able to perform at a higher level. And a number of the people that I worked with went on to college scholarships, had an NCAA champion, and on the Olympics and stuff like that. That didn't happen while I was working with them, but I helped lay the foundation for those things. And it's something I've always focused on is the mechanics of exercise. And actually, I wanted to originally take physics in school to apply it to the human body. And I wasn't looking at biophysics because I wanted to know angular forces and things like that, how to better shape the body in order to make it more effective. And then what's going on inside there is a support mechanism of those angles. And so that, to me, I was looking at from that standpoint. So a lot of it for me is just like, I have this passion about movement, about position, different things like that. And I think if you can do anything as you start into your CrossFit career or doing any other sport, is focus on those mechanics. It'll take you a long ways. You're going to get further with whatever attributes you have and that you can develop. So I think that's how it is.
Fantastic.
That's awesome. I love that too. Well, thank you very much, Tim, for telling us a little bit about you. I'm not going to lay it out. I know in the future we will probably have a part 2 where we go a little bit more deeper. There's still a lot of the story that most don't know. I don't know if Tim opened about everything, but we'll definitely have him back on and you'll be seeing him. Really quick, something I would like to do when we have guests, rapid fire questions. They're going to be kind of quick. They're just going to come at you, and we're just going to go quick right through them. So you literally have 5 seconds to answer. You got to move through it. So question number 1, I'm going to ask, and then Lori will throw out 2, and we'll work our way down from there. So my number 1 question, favorite CrossFit workout?
I'm going to go with Jackie. I like the 1,000-meter row makes it really terrible to do 50 thrusters in a row, even at that lightweight. And so I like that challenge of just like having to hang on for dear life as you go through that, and just saying don't quit. And of course, there's a lot of heavy workouts I like, light workouts I like, but that one kind of has something. It's good.
All right.
All right. What's your least favorite CrossFit workout?
I would have to say Fran. So that one. Fran just is that's the dementor. It sucks the life out of you, and no matter how many times you come back to it, it still is an enemy. Yeah, that one's always the enemy, never the friend. It seems like.
No one likes friends. Okay.
All right. Go to post workout meal.
Post workout meal, unless I'm doing like a multi workout competition in a day. Usually, I don't change my meal structure around my workouts. I'll just eat what I would normally eat during the day and have my meals at whatever schedule I have set out for that. So, and after a lot of training with different things like adventure racing, I'll eat on a full stomach, an empty stomach. My body's used to doing that. So generally after workout, I'll do a Fit 8 RX, and that's pretty much about it. And then when my next meal shows up, that'll be it. I show up the camera, there it is.
All right, so Tim, next rapid fire question. What is your favorite
Favorite memory is probably the acquisition of our second suite that we have here. That was something that I'd been looking at for probably 12 years. I tried to get that space a couple of times and been denied access. It was given to another business a couple of times throughout there, and it kept coming up, and I kept trying, and finally, the last time we just, what was it,
2021?
I think, 2021, it came up, and we went in and finally got that. And I had, at times before when it was empty, managed to get access to it and stood in there and dreamed of what we were going to do in there. And it was just a long time coming. So that was a big one. And we had to work really hard at getting it that time. We had to do full business plans for the landlord. They were not pulling any punches on us. And so they said that part of it was because I brought in my secret weapon, which was this one right over here. So she was very convincing. So, and then we had a few other cards in our pocket that helped us get through there, but that was a big one.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's very awesome, Tim. And for anyone who's watching that is one of the secrets. Always having faith in that what you want to take place will take place. The universe will test you. You got to keep on showing up. Tim's proof of that. I'm actually kind of lucky that I get to witness that kind of stuff basically every day here. So next up, biggest pet peeve as a coach.
Biggest pet peeve as a coach. I would have to put, as far as the pet peeves go, be probably just not putting things back where you got them. And so nothing like the kid going over to pick up their 4-pound medicine ball and it is a 20 today.
Funk.
Yeah, so basically I think that, having things kind of strewn around different places and things when they're not put away where they should be, then the next class coming in doesn't know where to find things. It takes longer to get set up. So yeah, it's just that common courtesy of putting things away where they're supposed to be.
Makes sense.
Yep. All right, last one. A piece of advice for someone just starting CrossFit.
The biggest thing I'd say is you get started with CrossFit is one, just check the ego at the door. I know that's cliche, but then really focus in on your mobility and your positions. So getting into the right positions before you worry too much about the load. I know it's tempting. We get in there with a squat and we can squat halfway down and start adding weight to it. And pretty soon we have a heavy squat that's really weak if we get below that point. And it's not worth it. You want to build that range of motion first and have full function throughout the range of motion and build that up. And so I'd say just be patient, build that, start with the foundation, build that foundation. And it's always tempting to skip past that.
All right. Well, thank you, Tim. Thank all of you
Thank you, Tim,
for joining us for our first podcast of Keeping It Real with TNL. It's been awesome interviewing you today. I'm not just saying that because I'm married to you. I mean it 100%. It was wonderful. We have so many other great podcasts on the way. Keep following us. It's a wonderful time. And we're just happy to be here, making your life better every way we can.
And as always, please do not forget to follow all three of us on social media. Coach Tim at Coach Tim 925. Follow the gym, CrossFit San Ramon at CrossFit SR 925 on Instagram and Facebook. Make sure you follow Coach Lori at Coach Lori 925 and Coach Ty at Coach Ty 925. We run the 925.
Right.
So, lastly, if you aren't watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the CrossFit San Ramon YouTube channel where we're constantly putting out new content, whether it be things that are taking place here at the gym or health advice or fitness advice, all the stuff. You guys obviously know that Tim is going to be a wealth of experience. You're definitely going to want to check out some of the videos that we have up there. Thank you so much. Keep it classy, San Ramon.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Take care.
All right. Thank you, Lord, for the cool line.
Keep it classy, Sam.